Hello, everyone. You've tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for Tom for putting us on YouTube each and every week. So make sure you go to the ISP YouTube channel to see Tom's works on there. Some old films that he's put on there that we have from the archives. And, of course, all our road shows are placed on there each and every week. Captain.
First Sergeant.
Welcome.
It's good to be here.
Who do you got to your right?
I have Sergeant CURT from the Bloomington State Police Post, the award-winning, as we've mentioned on previous shows, the Spectrum Award-winning host of Cop Talk on the local Bloomington station down there.
That's what this one is here.
That's big business.
Spectrum.
That's big. You know what that is? That's big.
It's big.
It's big.
There's no other word for it, really.
It's big. All the way from Monroe County, the home of the Indiana Hoosiers.
That's right.
Down there.
That's right. Yeah.
How's the football team going?
They're doing well. You know, they're sticking it out, and tough schedule ahead. You know, getting into the brunt of the season now, if you will.
Is that when does the Purdue game come up? Is that shortly?
That's the last one.
That's the last one.
That's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
I just appreciate you not mentioning anything about how Purdue's playing this year.
Yeah.
So
well, I wasn't going to bring it up. You know,
well,
but
I wanted to beat you to the punch.
Yeah.
So.
You know, just like always, they'll meet at the end and. You know, they'll be
somebody will come around.
And Purdue will carry the bucket home.
It doesn't.
You think?
You know, it doesn't matter what their records are.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't. But you know, it's always a good.
And
game.
it doesn't matter that Indiana's won 4 of the last 5 either.
Yeah.
And that they're going to lose this one. So, we'll wait. We'll see.
Right.
We'll
get back together.
Okay, let's get friendly.
Captain Dave Burson, Chief Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police, Sergeant CURT from the Bloomington Post, PIO down there. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, and it's good to be here, and we've got kind of a mixed show today, Rich. We've got something fun to talk about, then we have something serious to talk about. So I always like to talk about serious things with CURT.
Yeah,
so
he's a serious man.
Serious things with CURT.
Yes,
sounds like a newspaper article.
Sounds like an editorial, doesn't it?
Yeah. You could start that right after Cop Talk.
Okay.
You could have a blog, Serious Discussions with CURT.
Sounds good. So. Sounds good. Sounds time consuming as well.
Starts out with I'm a Libra.
Right.
Well, we definitely need to move on.
Well, let's talk about something that the state police is involved in, and we've kind of not had a lot of press on this or social media wise, but it's something interesting that if somebody would happen to be out in the Washington, D.C. area, definitely something they want to possibly pop in and see.
There are a number of law enforcement museums around the country. We have our own state police museum on the east side of town that is curated by Lauren Baker.
A free one.
There's a museum in Florida that's law enforcement related, but there's never been, with all the ones that are hopscotch around the country, there's never been a national law enforcement museum. And now there is, and it is appropriately located in Washington, D.C. What was very unique about this is we, Indiana State Police, got a call from representatives from the National Law Enforcement Museum that just had their grand opening October 13th. So that's how new it is. And they said a lot of the things that we're going to have in the museum are interactive. And we were researching history, and we recognize that prior to the state police becoming the state police in 1933, you had a motor vehicle police prior to that. And we've determined that you're one of the older law enforcement related entities that were driving vehicles back in the early 1900s. And we want to have a representation of an Indiana State Police car, a modern Indiana State Police car, to be in our museum. We said, wow, we're really flattered, but we need every single one of the cars we have, and we really can't afford to donate one to you. I said, no. We're going to provide the vehicle. It'll be a 2018 Dodge Charger. But what we need your help with, State Police, is we want it to accurately look like a state police vehicle with all the stripings and the door shields and everything that's on it. Can you send us those door shields and send us pictures of how they go on it? And we're located up at a facility in Michigan where we test vehicles, and we really can't go into great detail about that. Well, we asked, well, since you're up in Michigan, how about if we just send some of our official installers that will come up and they will install everything on your Dodge Charger so that it looks just like a state police vehicle.
Because they know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they said, yeah, we would love for you to do that. So we sent 2 installers. We sent up our very own Tom Trial, who's always off camera. Trust me, as I'm pointing that way, he's right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
He's
hiding
right
behind
there.
the camera. He is right here.
Always behind the camera.
So let us at least hear your melodic voice. There we go. Will you say hi, Tom?
Hi.
Okay. Well, I'm surprised I got that out of him. But Tom went up and took a lot of pictures, I think some video, but a lot of pictures. And I think you're going to be seeing a few of those pictures slide through on this program instead of just hearing me talk about it. But they went up, they striped it out, delivered it out to the museum. And it has been installed. It was installed a couple of weeks ago as they're finishing all the displays up, and it is now there. It's interactive. You can get in this car. I don't know all the different things that it does. I can tell you this: it doesn't have an engine in it, so it's just there as.
And that's
display.
museum-wise, so they won't have the fluids leaking out on the floor and that type of stuff, and have to worry about situation we had at our museum a few years ago.
Yes, we did. For those that don't know, we have a 1980 Dodge St. Regis, and while the fuel tank was mostly empty, it wasn't completely empty, and it corroded, and it left it's kind of like your doggy in the house leaving you a present, and we had a bunch of but from bad things come good things, because we got a brand new floor out of that.
Yeah.
So,
but that's why museums now don't want any kind of fluids of all in their vehicles or something that's going to contain fluids. So, but very interesting. Where would this be at? Where are they going to have this at?
This is at the Motorola Solutions Building in Washington, D.C. It's close to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial. That's at 450 F Street, Northwest Washington, D.C. As I mentioned, they had their grand opening October 13th. If you want information about admission prices, best thing I could recommend is just go to the website, type in National Law Enforcement Officers Museum. You can get all the information. They've got a great website that'll tell you everything that they're doing. But we are very honored as the Indiana State Police to have one of the primary displays being a replica of an Indiana State Police car that did not cost Indiana taxpayers any money, because it really wasn't one of our cars.
Yeah, good deal. Well, thanks for bringing that information to us, and I'm sure if we're out in D.C., that'd be something interesting to go see, because it's not only going to be us, but it's a National Law Enforcement Museum. We'll have a lot of interesting, interactive things that you can do. So Google that on your favorite search engine and see what you come up with as what they're going to do. Kurt, I'm glad you're here. We're going to be talking something that's unfortunately becoming more and more evident through our society today, and that's, tell us something that happened down there in Monroe County the other day.
Yeah, this is about a week and a half ago. Got a call from a concerned parent that something was going on at one of the local schools, and basically was just calling to seek my advice on what to do. There was a fear for her children's safety, and just wanting some advice from me. And I, kind of took her through exactly what was happening. Unfortunately, so many times, especially on social media, things get blown up out of proportion,
They do.
as you can well imagine. So
over the top.
It basically went from somebody posting something on social media that could be interpreted as a possible act of violence or something that was going to happen, to other parents telling other parents to, hey, if you really love your kid, you'll go pick them up right now.
It creates a panic,
which couldn't be further from the truth. And I think what I was wanting to get across, and we spoke about this on Cop Talk, our radio show in Bloomington, is that parents, we tell the schools they have to have a plan. We want the kids to know about the plan, but really the parents need to know about the school's plan, and they need a plan of their own. Yeah. So where is my information going to come from? Who am I going to trust when I hear something like this, or I see something on social media that says, there may be an act of violence that's being planned, or something is going on in the school that I'm concerned about, who am I going to get my information from? And I would encourage folks, first of all, to find out what the school's plan is. They are available. All you have to do is ask them. They're mandated by state
and
law.
every school has them.
Exactly, to have those.
And they should be happy that you, as a parent, want to be involved and understand what the plan is all about.
Absolutely right. And just, to think, hey, if something does happen, most of the time, or a lot of the times, if there's an event that's a safety issue, the school will typically go on lockdown if that's appropriate. If that's appropriate. So that was really the first question that I asked this parent: is the school on lockdown? No, it's not on lockdown. I said, well, right there tells me that it's not near as bad as what you're thinking that it is. There's not a threat that's coming from the outside. Right. Exactly. So and she went on to tell me that one of the parents had said, you need to go get your kids right now. Well, who said that? Well, it was another parent who had heard something and all that kind of stuff. Well, what does the school say? What is the school telling you? Because I know they have their plan in place of direct emails or direct text messaging or whatever it is, a phone call, automated phone calls that they send out immediately. And I went over with her again. Can you imagine if every single parent of every single child showed up at the school at the same time to pick up their kids, especially in that type of temperature?
It would create chaos in and of itself. And that's people think the worst sometimes without getting all the information, and that's why, just as you said, Kurt, they should go to the school first. The school has no reason or interest to try to hide something. With all the things that have happened across the country and the events that have happened in the past, as horrendous as they are, they don't happen that frequently.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Oh, absolutely.
But when they happen, it's terrifying, and there's nothing that will ever bring peace to those families that have been impacted by what they've suffered. Sure.
And you can imagine the parents' anxiety. If we're parents, if we hear something that's going on at our kids' schools, our radar goes up, our antennas go off. Yeah. So we want to know what's going on, but we also, again, need to fall back on the plan of who am I going to get my information from? Who do I trust to take us to the next step?
Was your caller, was your person that was inquisitive about this? Did they follow up? With that?
They followed up, but they did not go get their kid and let the school system handle what was going on. I followed that call up with a text. We have monthly safety meetings with the local schools down there, so I have a contact with one of the assistant superintendents down there. A quick text, hey. Rumors spreading. Is everything okay? Do you need anything? She replied to me, we're good. We're taking care of it. No reason for anybody to be in fear of anything. So
yeah, and that brings into mind another thing. And Rich, I don't know if we have enough time.
2 minutes. Go ahead.
What we were talking about. Do you mind going over what you shared with us before we started the show?
Yeah, it was just something that my daughter experienced here not real long ago. Was that she'd received a text from somebody she had no idea it was an account she didn't know that. Hey, I'm going to show up at your sporting event here. I want to watch you. I'm really infatuated with you. And she had concerns. She didn't know who this was and this person.
And your daughter's how old?
12. Yeah, 12 years old. She had a lot of concern about this, and it scared her a lot. And come to find out, it was somebody that she knew that thought it would be a joke to do this.
Oh my!
And there was some things that was. Sent to her text-wise that was very disturbing, and the way it come across. And number one, we explained to her, and she sees this now, is if you don't know this, don't answer, and we try to instill that into them. A policeman's daughter, I tell her all the time, if you don't know this, don't talk to him. And there was a long conversation there. I said, what are you doing even talking to this person?
Yeah.
I don't know, Dad. I'm sorry. I don't know why I got involved in that. Yeah. And
the importance of reinforcing that message.
Exactly. And I think it's probably worked out to our favor what happened, but it was quite some time after this. I mean, they didn't let her know about this till after the sporting event. And I could tell during the sporting event something was bothering her. Something was going on. She wasn't doing very well, and you could tell something was. And right after that, we got 39 seconds. Right after she said, I want to go home with you guys instead of on the team bus. And that's when we found out. So. Yeah.
No.
You can never
Serious
say it enough.
implications.
You
Yeah.
can never go over it with them enough. Even
No,
if you think
exactly.
they're well versed, do
Reinforce
it again.
Reinforce
Do
the
it
message.
again. Yeah.
Social
Don't talk to
media,
strangers.
make sure that you stay safe on that and do what you should be doing.
Sure.
Guys, we've run out of time. We're 20 seconds into it. Thanks for being here. I appreciate talking about this. National Law Enforcement Museum. Make sure you get out there if you're in D.C. See that. Kurt, thanks for coming up today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
South. Again, you've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance. Cops for Kids. We'll talk to you again next week. The Roadshow is out.